Welcome to Daily Lenten Reflections with Father Stephan Alexander and the Parish of St. Martin de Porres, Coryal. For these reflections, we're using the Ascension Lenten Companion. We invite you to journey with us throughout this Lenten season. Negative. See, I have set before you this day life and good, death and evil. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 15. Wednesday of the first week of Lent. If there are always positive effects when we say yes to God, then there are always negative effects to saying yes to temptation. Why? In reality, we aren't saying yes to temptation. We are saying yes to the tempter. When fish bite on a lure, they really fall victim to the fisherman, not the lure. The fisherman has a single aim for presenting the lure, namely, to catch a fish and put it into an ice chest. The motive of the fisherman drives the presentation of the lure. Likewise, there is only one motive for the presentation of temptation: to pull us away from God. Temptation is never about what is presented. Temptation only presents the lure to achieve its ultimate end. Therefore, there are always negative consequences to sin, while there are always positive effects in saying yes to God. As we have seen in fishing, the hook is hidden by the lure. The fish never sees it. This is part of the fisherman's strategy. Similarly, temptation purposely hides the negative effects of sin and presents it as something that appears to be good or pleasing. In the moment of temptation, we often fail to think through the reality of what we are doing. When I worked with Alcoholics Anonymous, I came to appreciate the discipline of finishing the thought. For example, let's imagine a man named Bob who has been sober for 15 years. On a particular afternoon, Bob is stressed and irritable. He longs for a drink to take the edge off. When Bob is presented with the temptation to have a beer, what he hears in his head is, "Bob, just have one beer. What's the big deal?" It would make you feel better. However, temptation purposely cloaks the negative, potentially devastating consequences: the loss of Bob's hard-won sobriety. In this example, what temptation is really saying to Bob is, "Bob, you want a beer?" It would make you feel better, and so will another one. In fact, you won't be able to stop. You will drink 20. So what if you lose your 15 years of sobriety? And perhaps your wife and kids. You may even get a DUI and wreck your car. You will fall back into the pit. That is what AA means by finishing the thought. Temptation never tells Bob the whole story. It merely presents the urge. There are always negative consequences to sin. Always. Going deeper. Today's homework builds on the previous homework. Add to yesterday's letter to yourself. Specifically, write out all that you will lose if you continue to agree with temptation. List the consequences. Be as specific as possible.